One of the most difficult things you will ever have to master in this lifetime is learning how to slow down the momentum of something in your lived reality that is attempting to hook you and throw you around and thrash you about and make you use and activate your voice, your energy, your authority, your direction, your ability to make words become form, something in your world that is hijacking you to make you want to lose the plot slash throw your toys, to the point of absolutely snowballing into a typhoon. Okay, that whole thing where uh, you roll out of bed one day and it just feels like one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, and bad things just keep happening. And the more bad things happen, the worse it becomes in your mind. The more you concentrate on how many bad things are happening and feel more and more powerless and deactivate your own power and step further and further and further and further and further and further and further away from your locus of control. My podcast today, Patcast, I love clarifying that. My podcast today is about learning how to manage, how to master real world energetics when things are not going your way, when things are spinning, when things are going crazy. I was chatting to a very close friend who has had one of these horrendous days. And what I noticed is that I couldn't even feel her real signature behind the typhoon of rage and frustration and anxiety and overwhelm that was spinning around her. And it's not to say that there is anything wrong with feeling your feelings. There is nothing wrong with dropping in and naming your emotions. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you roll out of bed and you think that at some point in the day you are just purely at the mercy of this day just getting worse and worse and becoming more and more of a disaster, you are living in the exact programming. You are embodying the exact template that this whole system wants you to live by. The quicker this ecosystem we call planet Earth and all of the powers that be that are trying to run it to suction all the life force out of our jugular veins, the quicker they can get us from I am in my power, I am not powerless, I am not at the mercy of something or someone else, the quicker they can move us from there to panic, to rage, to anxiety, to overwhelm, the faster they can destabilize us. And the interesting thing is, the deeper you have gone in doing the work, the longer you have been on a soul journey of healing, the more these external, I want to call them fields, want to hijack your psyche and collapse you completely. So, how do you find the middle ground? How do you react with authenticity if something is just really, really highly charged? How do you react with authenticity but still maintain your locus of control? I don't know about y'all, but I've had some pretty intense days thrown upon my head. And even just recently, I remember having a day where I thought, holy mackerel, if anything else comes flying around the corner. And the moment I thought that thought, I thought, oh, okay, already something is hijacking my psyche, my thought template in order to keep building and multiplying chaos outside of me. So instead of going zen and deciding that I'm just going to sit in the corner and do a quick meditation while I'm raging, I don't know about y'all, but I'm full of fire, so it's almost impossible Not impossible, but it's almost impossible for me to go from holy crap, everything's fucking out to I'm just going to sit and calm down and breathe deeply into my belly. Okay, so I'll get there at some point. But what I do, and maybe this is helpful for somebody out there, is I focus on two things. I focus on slowing down the momentum of what is spinning and raging around me. What do I mean by that? I slow down the momentum by refusing to give my awareness to another thing that is fucking out, another thing that is going wrong, another thing that's creating a disaster. Instead of pretending that it's all going well, I just refuse to give my devotion to those things. It doesn't matter how true or factual they are. I will just go, not now, not now. I won't bite the hook. I just focus on reducing the number of hooks that are flying at me by slowing down the momentum of negativity, of chaos, of powerlessness, of rage, especially if it's something that is not inside of my immediate control. What I want to do is I want to go back from feeling scattered and like shrapnel outside of myself to drawing myself back into my center, however long it takes. The second thing I do is I focus not on being positive and thinking happy thoughts. I focus on activating a state of neutral. I just want to find something that is neutral. So I play a little game with myself. I start counting things. I give myself a task that will pull me into my cerebral cortex, to my prefrontal cortex, and take me out of this activated state. And I start saying things like count how many purple t-shirts you can find. And I'll walk around if I'm at, I don't know, an event or a gathering, or if I'm walking up and down the street. I'll just count how many purple t-shirts I find. Now, what's the point of doing something so silly and random like that? Well, it deactivates the typhoon that's going on in my mind. And in that moment, my only job is to not feed whatever famished, starving thing is needing to deactivate me and give me more somatic evidence that I am indeed powerless, that I am indeed a disaster, that my life is indeed going to keep dishing out painful things. I just have to deactivate that, disconnect from it for a moment until my system comes back to neutral. That's the goal. Give it a shot next time. There are loads of very activating. I should use the term activating. There are many very activating things that are going on in our world today. My intention is not to insinuate that you must be calm and collected and pretend nothing's happening. No, what I mean is find a way to drop back into your heart, your center, your power, your control. Only then will you start to have clarity about what's actually moving outside of you and what you can actually influence and shift, even if it's ever so slightly. Yep, that's it for today.